As I'm recording this, it's 18-3 for the San Diego Padres over the Toronto Blue Jays. And watching the Blue Jays as they struggle through this, it's a rebuild. I mean, they've got Biggio's kid in, they've got Guerrero's kid in, and Vladdy Jr. is just learning third base. So I know they gave him an error in this game, but it's one of those things when you're learning third base, you got to learn the exact positioning and everything. Kelly Gruber, he is not at this stage. And I watched this and I've honestly been laughing, and not that I'm laughing at what Toronto's going through, but because I remember back to when I was a kid, and Blue Jay games at that point were on CTV, and sometimes they were time delayed, so the game might take place at 4 o'clock, but they don't show it till 7. So my dad would come home, and sometimes I spoiled the score because I'd do that, but I'd usually give him the wrong score. There was one night he came home and I said. I think they were playing Cleveland, and I said, Dad, it's amazing. They were down, or they were up 5-0 or 5-1, something like that, and they ended up losing the game 7-5. And he's like, the game's live. You're not fooling me. The game's live. So the game goes on, and I didn't really care. I was watching something else, and he came out, and pardon my French with this. He comes out and looks at me and goes, "You little shit." And I, for what? He's like, "You saw the game." And I'm like, I didn't. That I was just kidding. It was live. No, somehow you knew the score and it was tape delayed and you had to ruin it for me. And I'm like, Dad, it was a live game. And he he went off. My mother thought it was hilarious. Absolutely one of her favorite moments, because I told her when I told him the score, and it's live, and I said, yeah, it's live. I'm just messing with him. But my favorite thing with my dad was, some of the pitching, and Jim Acker was the one that I'd get him with. And when Acker was pitching, my mom would actually put the TV on in the living room, which was the better TV rather than the one in the bedroom. She would actually voluntarily give up whatever she was watching so we could see what was happening with Jim Acker in the game, because Jim Acker was guaranteed to allow hits, home runs, blue leads. So Mom and I would call from the living room, "Dad, Acker's on TV. Let's go. Come on, get out here. We gotta watch it out here," because we'd want to see his reaction. And he would get quite animated about how he'd call us names from the bedroom. The other end of the house, you hear him yelling what we were and how we should shut up, and he's not coming out to watch. And then we would watch as Acker usually would blow it, so they'd have a lead, and then all of a sudden they'd be behind, and we would start yelling down the hall, "Hey, what's the score? You know what the score is." And he'd start yelling back at us, "You know what the score is? You got it on out there. Shut up." And so this would go back and forth. Today's game reminds me of that. We're in the 8th? Yeah. Oh my god, it's still the top of the 8th. Yeah, it's still 18-3. It's the top of the 8th. Cavillio comes in. He's had a good run. But Buck Martinez is talking about how, yeah, he's playing well. He's doing really, he's working on his pitches. And I said out loud, the next pitch is going out of the park. And no sooner have I said that, and that pitch sailed right over the fence. And I can hear in my ear, and my father passed away about a decade ago, but I can hear him in my ear, "You little shit." I hear it. I hear it in my, I can hear it. And then the next batter comes up, straight over the fence. And I'm absolutely killing myself laughing at this point, and I feel bad because, again, it just reminded me of when I was a kid, and I would say, hey Dad, look, I'm Jim Acker. And I would look to the base, look to the plate, throw the pitch. And then you look to the catcher for the ball. And I used to do that all the time. I'd be like, hey Dad, you want to see my Jim Acker? "No." "Come on, it's my Jim Acker. Come on, here we go." And I'll wind up, pitch. That's not coming back. And then you call for the next ball. And I used to love doing it. My mother would be on the floor. It was one of those things that despite my childhood not necessarily being fantastic, I really enjoyed that part of it. And that's why I still watch baseball, and that's why... Is it still 18? Did he walk somebody? Yeah, they walked somebody. I've been a lot of walking guys going on too. I used to love that too, where I'd be like, "Yeah, that's not a good pitch. That's not a good pitch. That's away. Hey, did that one hit? Is that a pass ball or is that a wild pitch?" And I get, "Shut up." And the funny thing is that I actually didn't didn't dislike the Jays. Jimmy Key was one of my favorite pitchers. I love Dave Stieb. And, in general, I cheered for them, but, man, it was fun needling at them when they were pulling something like this game would have driven him nuts if he would have watched it. Probably would have. Although he would have been telling me, just shut up, they're rebuilding. Just shut up, they're rebuilding. And I had to discuss this and discuss it with subscribers. It is the most fun I ever had watching baseball. And this was when I was, 12, 13 years of age, 14, 15. All the way through my teen years, basically growing up, where, it wasn't necessarily a great home life at all times. But, man, when the Jays were on and when they'd blow it. And my favorite was Dave Stieb. And I mentioned this story in previous videos. Dave Stieb it wasn't a no-hitter, but it was a shutout. They bring in Acker in the 8th inning. My dad's already swearing. Acker blows the lead, and the Jays won it in the 9th. And I said, on the upside, Dad, at least Jim Acker got the win. And he went off on me. It was absolutely sensational. It was just great. And there were times, I remember there was one game he came in, and they were ahead 7-1. And it was late. I think it was 7th or 8th inning. And my dad said, well, Acker can't blow this because, there's only a couple innings left. I'm like, oh, you underestimate him. And he did. And it was just, it was fantastic. And I felt bad for Jim Acker because he was kind of the guy that my dad would turn the air blue yelling about. But, man, it was funny. So on a day like today, I get reminded of my favorite moments watching baseball. This is why I don't live stream me watching baseball, because people would be like, oh, he really hates the Jays. But it just, every time you have a game like this, I'm reminded of when I was a kid and, needling at my dad a little bit over the game and over what was going on. And then when I started cheering for the Red Sox, because the Red Sox had been miserable. Remember now, the ball goes between the legs there. All you have to do, just put your glove down. You just don't boot it. Come on, Buckner, just get down there. I had money. That's the only time I've ever been on sports. I had money on the Red Sox. And Buckner, it went right through his legs. So I lost that bet to my father because he bet on the Mets. And I'm like, Red Sox should win this. Nah. And then from that moment forward, I was a Red Sox fan, which made him even angrier. Because I wasn't supposed to cheer for the Red Sox. How can you cheer for two Boston teams? So you still remember, you're Canadian, don't cheer for two Boston teams. Like, I can cheer for whoever I want. It doesn't really matter. And then there was the time that my mom and I sang the Star Spangled Banner before a hockey game, and he lost his mind too. And then I wonder why he drank. Yeah, anyways. I wanted to share that because today I thought that was so funny. And I feel bad because the Jays are down 18-3. And it's one of those games where if a manager could put up a white flag and give up after about the 5th, I think this is one of those games where they'd be like, yeah, we'll just not play the last 4 innings. That's fine. And I want to mention Cal Quantrill getting his first win today, unless there's a 15-run comeback by the Jays, which is not going to happen. But Cal Quantrill with his first win today is fantastic. His dad was one of my favorite relievers. Very, very steady with the Jays and then with the Yankees. I thought he was very underrated, and he played almost 900 games in his career. If I did baseball videos, I would definitely love talking about Jimmy Key, Quantrill, Tom Henke, Dwayne Ward, who was greatly underrated as well. When Henke left town, Dwayne Ward became the reliever. Well, the closer, I should say, and I actually thought Ward was a better closer than Henke. But anyways, that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And this is why I've started watching baseball again, because with the Jays being bad, there are so many moments in the game that remind me of watching it with my father and him just losing his mind. And the fact that the Padres are doing well is good news too, because I've been a Padres fan since the early 80s. Even though they wore those brown and yellow jerseys and hats. And they've started going back to that old brown and yellow in some throwback games. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Just don't. They don't look good. So, but anyways, there you go. Don't Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I'm wearing Chicago White Sox hat that I got for like $3 from Lids ages ago. And an Orlando Solar Bears jersey because I already wore the Mets jersey and that already caused people to have a meltdown. So I'll throw on a jersey for Florida hockey team because why not? Thank you guys so much, though, for watching. And I will talk to you again later.